not view Islam from an ethnicized perspective. In the past, generally, Malay Muslim organizations were not keen to preach Islam to non-Muslim because this certain group were worried that when a Chinese or other races convert to Islam, he or she can then obtain Bumiputra status and enjoy the extensive economic benefits associated with the status, which really is not always the case. This group also view Islam as their core identifier marker. Hence, if a Chinese becomes Muslim, he or she should also become a Malay. However, such perception have diminished in this recent year. Today, many middle-class Malay Muslims are well educated and not depend on government assistance to make ends meet. They did not see Islam as a Malay religion, but a religion for all mankind. So they state that Islam teach Muslim against asabiyah, yakni clanism or tribalism. They refer to verse and hadith to highlight of universality of Islam. So Islam is highly controlled by the state. Islam is highly controlled by the state in Malaysia. Some religious authority even regulated the mosque architecture. Although there is now much public resistance towards this various form of religious control, there are growing demand for diversity within Islamic expression among urban Muslim youth. They do not want to see all the mosques built in the similar pan-Islamic architecture. Thus, they support the construction of the Chinese-style mosque or the design. They do not want to just eat Malay food. They just visit Chinese halal restaurant. However, this is uncertain whether the support of diverse cultural expression of Islam will also lead to the greater pluralization of Islamic discourses. In Malaysia today, we are witnessing not only the emergence of cultural dakwah, but also political dakwah, street dakwah, digital dakwah, food dakwah, and so on. In the last 10 years, there has also been a mushrooming of Chinese halal restaurant in Malaysia, namely Muhammad Halal Chan Restaurant and Sharon Low Seafood Restaurant are the two most successful cases. Both Muhammad Chan and Sharon Low do not see contradiction between making profit and preaching Islam. Even Sharon Low notes that he does business while worshipping, which is berniaga sambil beribadah. All these dakwah methods are similar criteria, indirect, friendly, and addictive. Such attempts certainly could improve the perception of non-Muslim toward Islam, yet it's uncertain whether this effort will convince more non-Muslim to become Muslim. So, amidst the concern of an increasingly Persian or Arabization of Islam, that is hostile to ethnic tradition, cultural dakwah, which promotes hybrid form of Islamic manifestation, reaffirm the cultural inclusivity of Islam in Malaysia.
2 more minutes, Mr.
Okay.
Azra.
Yeah, in the last paragraph.
Okay.
Indeed, the especially of Chinese-style mosque, halal restaurant, the Chinese New Year celebration show that many Malay Muslims are no longer equal to Islam to a Malay religion. So there are also various transnational dimension of cultural dakwah, such as building mosques from reference to the design of all mosques from in mainland China, also inviting Muslim from China to become an imam in Malaysia. This promote the of cultural dakwah, different ethnic practices from religious ritual to preach Islam by using the cultural approaches. Even so, if they preach this Islam by using other race cultural approaches, so it's made easier to them to assimilate with that races. So it will become an inclusive dakwah strategy and not an exclusive, and they can understand Islam more in friendly situation. By doing so, they make an Islam appear more universal and inclusive. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening, and over to you. Mbak Neni.
Okay, thank you very much for your substantial remarks about Islam as cosmopolitan that can be embraced by all ethnic groups in Malaysia. Once again, thank you, Mr. Azraq. Ladies and gentlemen, now we turn to our first speaker, Professor Ahmad Muzaki from Nahdlatul Ulama Indonesia. Ahmad Muzaki is a professor in Sociology of Education at the State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel. He obtained his PhD at the University of Queensland. He has been academically exposed to multidisciplinary studies from historical and sociological studies, such as Asia Studies, to education studies. In WINSA, Prof. Muzaki served as a Dean of Faculty of Social and Political Sciences. He also the General Secretary at East Java Nahdlatul Ulama. To Professor Ahmad Muzaki, time is yours. You have 7 to 10 minutes.
Okay, thanks Mbak Neni. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished panelists, speakers, and also the audience. To build the international cooperation to reinforce commitment and practices of Islam as Islam Rahmatan Alamin, I'd like to present the Nahdlatul Ulama experience, the largest Muslim organization in Indonesia. I would like to come with the idea of a cultural strategy of Nahdlatul Ulama in delivering and developing, also delivering inclusive da'wah in Indonesian community. Probably I would like better for me to come up with the some key issues on challenges, current challenges in da'wah, and also community practices faced by Muslims in Indonesia. Probably we are fully aware of the current challenges. We are now living in the age of fragmented information, and timely calls in 2017 give us a warning ideas of what we call by the death of expertise. As we probably aware, and also I would like to ask the technical assistants to go forward with the next slide on the roadmap and the like. Yeah, next slide, please. I would like to give you an idea of what are the current challenges. Yeah, what are the current challenges? The current challenge number one is that we're now living in the era of consumer culture. As you're probably aware, that the consumer culture will influence people with role modeling and how people can consume ideas and also practices in the digital situation. And you probably also would see from the next slide, please, that people also, I would like to ask the technical assistant to go forward with the next slide, because I would like, I've been given also 7 minutes to talk, yeah, but Nani, so but for the technical assistant to go with the next slide. To see what are the current challenges, yeah, what are the current challenges, because I have no authorized access to share my screen, so better for the technical assistant to go a bit quickly. Okay, challenge number one, we see that the generation gap, probably you would see the generation gap. The old generation always have in their hands the printed books But now the Generation Z, millennial youth, only have the online access and also digital publications for reading. And challenge number 2 is the consumer culture. People see that what they would like to consume and produce in the public sphere is completely and also highly influenced by their endorser. So the way people can consume, also produce Islamic ideas are completely influenced by the endorser, influencer, and the like. And also the third challenge, now we're living in the midst of multiple realities. What we have in the last in the last time, this period, we have only one single source to access the knowledge and also Islamic ideas. But now people can have different versions of Islam, different versions of Islamic teachings. And the issue is how the Nahdlatul Ulama deal with this kind of situation. I would like to share with you all about what we call Aswaja's Dawah ecosystem. We need to have Dawah ecosystem as the answer to deal with this kind of different situation, the rapidly changing situation in the world. What we need is the Dawah ecosystem. Then the Nahdlatul Ulama in Indonesia developed 3 kinds of pillars of Dawah ecosystem. The Dawah ecosystem number 1, the first pillar is what we call by epistemic community. The relationship between Kiai Muslim, Nahdlatul Ulama Muslim scholars, and also Santri Muslim pupils, and also Nahdiyin and followers are quickly and also tightly intensively connected to each other. And followers and consume what the Nahdlatul Ulama Muslim scholars produce in the religious teachings and also in the mosque. And pillar number 2 is education. As you're probably aware, Nahdlatul Ulama developed so many kinds of pesantren. Pesantren means Islamic boarding schools, basically. And then also schools and madrasah for formal education. And the last part of education is what we call by Islamic religious learning. Majlis Ta'alim at large in the community, and Nahdlatul Ulama would see pesantren, madrasah, and schools, and also Islamic religious learnings are in the same boat of importance to deliver to the community. Pillar number 3 is personal exposure. That is why Nahdlatul Ulama Muslim scholars always deliver 3 kinds of key concepts. Barakah means a blessing, yeah. Wasila means intermediary role. Tawassalna bi al-mashayikh bil kiai. People then have intermediary role to lead the jama'ah, to lead the nahdi, to lead the NU followers. To pave the way for that path to the Jannah, to the right path of religion. And the third one is the Hawl, the commemoration ritual for the death of the Kiai, for the death of the Muslim scholars in Nahdlatul Ulama. And pillar number 4 is what we call the source of knowledge. In Nahdlatul Ulama, we always develop the teaching based on Kitab Kuning. Kitab Kuning means classical Islamic textbook, and also the history of Indonesian Islam, just to revive the local genius, local wisdom of Islam in Indonesia. And the last one is Nahdlatul Ulama also developing different kinds of information media, starting from journals, publication, and also magazines, and also online. Probably you can go online, having an access to Nahdlatul Ulama online to see what kind of information Nahdlatul Ulama can deliver to the community. And probably because of time, I would like to share the last part of my presentation about how then we develop an inclusive dawah ecosystem. Nahdlatul Ulama develops 5 kinds of what we call in Nahdlatul Ulama is program kaderisasi, the kaderization programs in Nahdlatul Ulama. We have 5 kaderization program. Kaderization program number 1 is a structural program of kaderization. It caters to those now in holding a power in administrative staffs in the organization, from Sharia, Tanfidia, and also from the department within the Nahdlatul Ulama structural organization. Program number 2 is functional program of kaderization. It only caters to those now active in the department level of Nahdlatul Ulama. And pillar number 3, program number 3 is kaderization program for the grassroots change drivers. It's only for those Nahdlatul Ulama followers at the grassroots level. And then program number 4 is professional ones. This program is used to develop a program of kaderization for professional staffs in Indonesia, starting from doctors, lawyers, lecturers, teachers, and the like. And the program number 5 is what we call program keulamaan, clerical scholarship programs. So we develop kaderization programs, and this program is especially devoted to those who are now under or in the process of becoming remarkable ulama, remarkable Muslim scholars for the future of Nahdlatul Ulama in Indonesia. If we develop these 5 programs for kaderization, we are now completely sure that to reinforce the commitments and also practices of Islam as Rahmatan lil Alamin, we can go through the inclusive dakwah ecosystem through Nahdlatul Ulama. Better to stop to this point because we are now we have a very limited time to presentation. Thanks, Mbak Nani, and back to you.
Okay, thank you for sharing us Nahdlatul Ulama experience, Prof. It is very inspiring, grateful, and insightful for us. Professor Zaki has shared with us the challenges that faced by Muslim in this era and how Nahdlatul Ulama set strategies for dakwah. Please stay with us as we will have questions and answer the next section. Ladies and gentlemen, the next will be a Tunisia experience. So let us warmly welcome our distinguished speakers, Mr. Solahuddin Al-Mistawi from Zaytuna University, Tunisia. He is more known as Sheikh Soleh. He is lecturer of Usul Fiqih and Fiqih at Zaytuna